And we're back.
Hello.
So, lying in front of you, on the ground, held down by 2 guards, is the Changeling, who is currently in the process of thrashing around. Yeah, the guard who comes in with the first aid kits basically just turns to you and says, he started doing this like 3 minutes ago.
Oh, your problem here is that's not a human.
He just sort of like looks at you as he doesn't know what to make of that.
Yeah, that's a changeling. You know, like shapeshifter.
Can you stop him doing that?
I mean, I can hold him still.
Honestly, like, it was my limited medical experience. Did not include well, like it barely includes anything.
Well, you can all make medicine checks to see if you recognize what's happening.
Yeah, let's do that.
You know what? I was gonna say, what's the worst that can happen? And I shouldn't say that, actually.
Oh. My +3 did not help.
Oh.
Wow.
Stop.
Are you gonna make one?
On a -1.
I guess so.
Okay. Okay.
Who's Blair?
Who is Blair?
Who is Blair? So, Kelariis, you actually know what's happening here.
Oh.
You've only ever encountered this once. And it was during a military training exercise that you weren't actually involved in. You had nothing. You didn't really have anything to do with this. You just sort of observed it happening. But he appears to be having a seizure.
Oh. How do you... What, do I know how to... assist?
You know that you need to be very careful that he doesn't, like, accidentally injure himself and therefore kill himself.
Right.
Because he's very not in control of his faculties.
Yeah, I mean, I probably saw how they kind of handled it, way back when.
Yeah,
when I saw this happen.
it was sort of a case of just holding them still, in like with them like laying on their side.
Okay. Oh, does it look like they're struggling because, like, they do not have the sort of, I guess, do the guards seem to be struggling to do that because, like, they don't have the strength to hold this person? To hold this?
That, and they're not holding him. Like, they're like pinning him down as if he's resisting arrest, rather than, like, holding him secure.
Ah, I see.
I mean, not knowing what's going on, I was just gonna say, I have a very good way to stop him moving, but it's not exactly, nice.
He's having a seizure. Let me try something. And I guess I kind of just, like, step forward and try to do that instead.
Okay.
As opposed to, like, pinning him down. That seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, make me a strength check.
Oh. Just strength, not, like, athletics or something.
Just strength.
Here's where I fuck up a check, even though I am...
Okay. It's very difficult. Like, this guy possesses, like, a strength that doesn't really, like, match up with his physical attributes. It's really hard for you to hold him. Even with your strength, it's really hard to stop him because, like, his head is thrashing around and, like, occasionally it just, like, bounces off the stone floor, which is really probably not good for him.
Do you want me to hold? We should probably get in there and hold him down.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to help, like, make sure he doesn't hit his head a bunch, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah,
I guess... Oh, sorry, go.
Oh, somebody else can assist and get a different role, but...
Yeah, I can assist.
Okay.
Since I have, like, basic medical training.
Yeah, give me a strength check to assist Kelariis.
Wow.
Nope. Okay.
Oh.
So his physical state is just preventing, like, you're trying to like hold him still, but he's just like he's wrenching himself around in your grasp. He is actually going to injure himself doing this.
I need some help over here.
Yeah, I mean, can I help by taking the help action rather than making a roll?
Well, I'm going to say, like, it at this point you cannot hold him down. Well, you cannot hold him securely to, like, you are holding him down, but he is like hurting himself in the process.
Main
Did he
main thing
do
is,
something before this happened?
I imagine the main things to keep safe would be his head and his neck.
Yeah.
Like if his legs and arms get injured, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, is
but
there anything soft we can put under his head?
Not in the vicinity. You're in a jail cell.
I guess, yeah. I guess Elizabeth would probably turn to the guys and be like, yeah, something to put between him and the whole cold stone floor would be a very good idea. Preferably something not rock solid.
They run off to try and find something.
So what a water skin. That's it's not soft, but
It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Softer.
How big is a water skin?
it's decently sized usually.
Yeah.
I don't know how big the.
But basically, imagine sort of like a hot water bowl sort of thing.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that'd work.
It's like a hot water bottle, but for drinking out of.
Yeah, that would kind of work.
Yeah, it's not going to stop him when he smashes his head against the floor, but.
No, but it's better. Like
Yeah.
like has been said, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, okay, so I'll take something off the damage he takes in the next thing. Okay. Yeah, he looks like he's bleeding quite profusely from a head wound at this point.
Okay. What we can do is it's not perfect, but could they like do the? We could try and like grapple him from behind. You know, where you put like the arms under the.
That's what they're already doing.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
they
okay.
were doing before. Yeah.
But then he wouldn't be able to slam his head anymore. He might strain his neck.
You just
yeah.
smack it into somebody's
I mean,
face.
no, he definitely. You can't just like straining his arms behind his back. He could definitely still flail his head around.
No, well, you know where you put no, you put your arms under his, and then you have your hands against his, like in his neck.
Look, guys, all I'm saying
You
is
know the
I can
position?
totally hold him still with a bit of magic.
It's one of the.
Well-
It's like a wrestling position.
It's up to you because he's going to hurt himself again in a second.
Well,
Yeah,
like
fuck it, I'm just gonna cast Hold Monster on him
Okay.
because I know that keeps him still from experience.
Okay. Yep. He locks up.
Yeah, and I will look to the guards that are there and go like, "Sorry, I know I had to cast a spell, but it's the only thing I could think to do."
Okay. The guards run back in with what is basically just like a bunch of random laundry. Like shove it under his head. He is still bleeding.
Yeah, now we need the basics. Now we need the first aid
Yeah.
kit.
Yeah, can I like try to
Sure. Make a medicine check.
Hopefully it's better than my strength check.
Can I?
That's
Yep,
much
okay.
better.
So yeah, we rather than trying to deal with the symptoms and effects of a seizure, bandaging a head wound is something that you are more than proficient in. So yeah, you quickly take care of that. You check him for like signs that like there's any internal bleeding, but you can't find any. So I think he's stable for now.
I
What
can only hold him still for a
happens?
minute. I don't know if that'll be long enough.
You asked what happened?
Yeah, like, did this just happen? Like nothing before?
I don't know. He he stirred, and I sort of looked in and to see if he was all right, and he seemed to be all right, and then all of a sudden this happened.
We should check the others quick.
You check the others. One of them is still unconscious. The other one is just sort of sitting in the corner.
Okay, good.
Is that
Just
the
making
halfling that's sitting in the corner?
Yes.
Making sure it isn't a ruse.
I mean, could this be just a panic reaction?
Or it could be something like stress reaction of not being able to change.
You know what? With your medicine check, Arya, I will say as you finish bandaging him and sort of like you wipe some of the blood off his face, and for starters, he has almost like a deep purple blood from being non-human. But as you wipe that away, you notice there's like almost like a puddle of green froth like forming at the corner of his lips.
Oh dear.
It's
I think he might have been poisoned.
definitely trying his darnest to die. Well,
Well, if
poison.
it is like a poison or like an illness of some sort, then we can deal with that, right?
If it's a
Your
we should
minute is
probably-
almost up.
Yeah.
Kelariis, get in here!
yeah, I know. If Arya thinks it was some sort of poison, I'm gonna just try to I want to do the thing like not the healing thing, but the thing where I can just
Yeah,
use,
the
like,
5 points to
some of the
remove
heads.
poison or disease.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty decent bet.
Yep, so you do that.
Yes.
And yeah, like the whole monster fades and he like twitches a little and then sort of just lies still.
Okay, that seemed to work.
Now the question is, how did that happen?
God, just sort of look at each other.
I mean, yeah, how could anyone have... I guess maybe they poisoned himself, maybe?
Possibly.
To try to get away without saying anything. Well,
Yeah.
may.
I mean, otherwise, who else could have poisoned him? Assuming it was, poison.
I don't imagine that he's the type to poison himself. However, this does mean we should probably make sure the others haven't been poisoned too.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, one of them is out cold and the halfling is just like looking at you across the room.
You should probably search them to see if they have any poison on them.
Well, we searched them before.
Clearly we missed something.
Or we were just looking for
Yeah.
something else.
Can I do a casting of Detect Magic?
You can.
Just in case. Cool, I'm going to cast Detect Magic.
Are
I'm
you?
not going to ritual, though.
You're just casting detect magic. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to straight up cast it.
Okay. You
But
do
I
not.
won't spend 10 minutes in a jail cell.
You do not find any magical sources on anything other than your companions.
Yeah, didn't think so. Just checking. But yeah, that does mean Elizabeth's going to go, well, it wasn't anything magical. So either this guy had something on him, or someone has somehow snuck in and done this in the space of 3 minutes, which I highly doubt.
Well, we've seen people be invisible before. It's not that far out there.
I suppose.
If only I had detect poison and disease spread. Fuck.
I mean, it should be fairly easy to just search them.
Okay, you're gonna search all of them?
I mean, better
No.
safe than sorry, right?
I don't. I don't. Like, I think we would be overstepping our bounds a little bit.
How so?
Well, just searching. I feel like it's like we're the outsiders here, and just accusing. Like we either have to accuse the guard, or we have to search the prisoners, which seems like a job for the prisoners. For the guards.
The guards who are close enough to overhear this whispered conversation sort of say, yeah, we'll check the rest of them now. Thank you for your assistance, but we can take this from here.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
They sort of start patting them down. The other two go into the cells and start patting the other guys down. And the halfling just sort of like reluctantly just like gets patted down. He's like, I'm not gonna do anything. Not that stupid.
Do you know what this one did then?
Not exactly.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, he obviously took something. The zealots usually do.
Oh.
You say that like you're not one of them.
We have the same goals, I have no desire to die for it.
And that goal is...
Just sort of like raises an eyebrow at it, just like...
We're just double checking that everybody matches. But feel free to answer.
I mean, you're supposed to be so smart, you figure it out.
Figuring it out is not the problem.
Yeah, or you could just tell us, because that'd be the much easier and honestly smarter thing to do right now.
Just sort of like folds his arms.
Wait, no, that's not working.
I tell you what, I'll tell you everything I know if you get me out of here.
Sure. You know what? Sure.
The cards just sort of turn to you and just go, we can't do that.
Yeah, I was...
No, but well, we can. At least we can try and defend them, like legally. Well.
What?
Like I'll find a way. That's.
So let me get this straight for a moment. You guys brought him in, and now you want to get him out?
I mean...
Well, like this is. Well, we will like if he provides what he. Well, if he provides what he says he will provide, then.
How about he just
There's
tell us
no
the information now and we let him live?
Then there's no reason.
That seems like a bargain.
Then there's no like if he tells us everything, there's no reason to keep him here anymore.
Except for the
But
crimes he
there is-
committed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's still part of a...
he is still a
organization
criminal,
that-
and he
committed-
is most
yeah.
certainly staying alive. Nobody is killing anyone here.
He's so certain. I like to imagine he's just giving Arya this look like, what the fuck?
She was
He's
referring
giving
to
you
the
a
fact-
look that's like, do I want to draw my sword on this or not?
She's just referring to the fact that there's a good chance that they'll sentence him to death.
No.
Not in this
that's not what I
city.
was referring to.
Yeah. Yeah. Elizabeth just looks at the guards and is like, please ignore most of them. They're very impulsive.
Listen, do we have a problem here?
No, he's going to stay. He's going to stay right there, and he's definitely not going to die. If that's what you guys want him to do, that's fine.
Okay,
We
here's
don't have
my-
a problem with that at all.
Well, do you have a problem with us hearing what he has to say and then trying to see if we can somehow make a deal to get him out afterwards?
I think that is the problem.
I mean,
Like, let's hear him out, please, right?
I don't have a problem with that. I just think, you know what? You do you.
These guards are so done with our shit, and we've been here for like 5 minutes.
I mean, that's
I
fair.
don't blame them.
We have a lot of shit.
We've come in here and instantly said, "Hey, can we set these guys free?" It's not even been a day.
Look,
It's been like 8 hours.
we're not asking the guards to set him free right now. We're not talking to the guard. We're talking to that guy. Like, he asked if we can get him out if he tells us everything. And well, if he tells us everything, we can try and get him out. That's what I'm saying.
Or we can just make him tell us what he knows and not
Yeah,
make
but
any
no.
promises.
Yeah.
I'm right
He's
here. I
not
can
in the
hear
position
you.
to be I'm sorry, but
Yeah, I
of all the
don't
people
care
in the
that you
position to be
hear us.
making demands, he is not one of them.
Yeah,
Well, let me,
I
feel
agree.
like I should let's just step aside for a bit.
You step out into the corridor.
See,
Jesus.
the idea is to make him tell us everything, and then, like, most likely, just leave him in there. However, you're making this very hard. Admittedly, there's a good chance that he will demand things the other way around, and then it doesn't work out. But
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Tallithsyr just sort of like leans in and is like, how do we just know he isn't going to play us? Like, that seems...
Well,
That
we-
also, as was pointed out, kind of their whole thing.
well, we know some things, and if they don't match up, then
And
We-
I can try
well-
to cast a spell. I don't know if he'll resist it, but
I mean, I
We
think he's
don't-
probably going to try and resist spells. Although I don't know actually.
if he's
oh, no,
willing
I'm
to,
sure he'll try. I don't know if he'll succeed.
like,
Oh, no, yeah,
what's the
that's
harm
true.
in just trying to let him tell us something?
I don't know. My point is, can we get information out of him without kind of making all the guards look at us like we're like complete idiots?
Well, would help if everybody would just, align themselves. Are you willing to try, as I said? So we just say that we make say that we say we'll let him go, or help him get out if he tells us everything in advance.
All right.
So what? Get him to tell everything, and then what? We basically turn to the guards and say, "Can you let him out? No. Oh well, leave."
Well, that part is like it would be somewhat deceitful, but depend. Like this guy,
He's
definitely.
also a criminal, and I don't feel that bad lying to him.
However, we can hide it. Like if we want to do it other ways, we're gonna run into the same problem we have with, what's her face, with the small brooks, where we know a whole lot, but we can't do anything because of rules. And lying is not against the rules. Admittedly, it would, at worst, it would taint our credibility among their ranks, but I feel like it can happen.
I mean, also that's only if word gets out that this was done, and I don't think he's going to be spreading any words anytime soon.
the more reason to do it.
I feel like we're missing something here. Like, isn't he just gonna say no until we do something for him?
Probably.
I mean, yeah.
That's-
Also that he's also like not going to agree to tell us all
Like-
the information
Well,
first.
like,
These
that's
guys are
what I'm
smart
saying.
enough to like pull off
Well,
this whole thing. I don't feel like they're gonna fall for it.
Well, like what I'm saying is, it's a free shot. It costs us literally nothing if it succeeds, or well, if it fails. If it succeeds, at most a little bit of, we might be ashamed that we tricked them, but that's the worst.
I mean, I'm willing to give it a go.
Although
Yeah,
I
it's just we should have a plan B.
but you know what? I feel like we've ruined it already.
Tallithsyr just turns to look at Kelariis and says, "Well, I think I can think of a fairly obvious plan B."
Yeah.
I mean, we were all thinking it.
Yes, but I'd rather not use it
Okay.
unless we have to. I can only do it once.
Yeah, like imagine
That's the
if
problem.
Kelariis touches him, he lies, he dies, or falls
And then
down.
we have some very upset guards on our hands if that
Yeah.
goes wrong.
I didn't think of that.
But it is an option if we can't get him to talk any other way. It may be worth the risk to get information.
Well, also think about it, right? He also did say he's not willing to die for it. So I'm pretty sure if we say to him, "If you lie, this will kill you," he won't lie.
The guards might not like that though.
I'm
No,
getting that
completely.
Say it
feeling.
in front of them.
Well, okay. How about this? We ask the guards, can we just talk to the guy? I get no. I feel like asking for the guards not to be there is going to be not going to
You know,
be
first of
great.
all, they're already kind of, you know. Maybe we could have gotten away with that if we hadn't said the things we'd already said. Oh, and also something to add, I'm not concentrating on Hold Monster anymore.
That's
'Cause
already
first,
ended.
yeah, I was gonna say, it's already been a minute. It's been way longer than that.
Okay. Well, let's just talk to him, see what he wants to say, see what he doesn't want to say. We'll see what happens.
Let's just pretend we aren't people who can weave magic to our will and just try a normal interrogation.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you know,
you say pretend. That is exactly what I have to do every single time.
well, yeah, I know. I was talking to. You get my point.
It's fine. Well, let's go.
Okay. So you walk back into the room. The guards are sort of like beginning to like tidy up and disperse and sort some things out. One of the guards is like leaning over the changeling and just like removes like a half chewed leaf from inside his mouth.
Gross.
It's like, I think we found our I don't even know what this is.
Do I know what it is?
Arya?
Nature checks.
Decided. It's nature checks.
I think without even a check, I can probably say it's poisonous.
Boom.
For it.
Yeah, but it'd be good to
Or
know
that.
like what it is.
I'm smart.
Mm.
Boom. I'm smart.
Why is my nature always so bad?
Who's the child now?
Still
Wow.
you.
Oh!
To be fair, I'm not the only child.
No.
No, but the
Anyway.
Zero is not trying to like tell her what the fuck.
Also, don't you dare talk shit about this here.
Damn, Kelariis is like,
I mean,
come at you.
she already clapped back about that, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, Elizabeth. Well, I suppose Arya, you recognize this plant, but you don't recognize it as poisonous. Elizabeth, the plant is fairly. It's a fairly uncommon plant. Wouldn't be poisonous to a normal metabolism. But if knowing what you know about some plants and alchemical compounds, it's entirely theoretically possible that the chemical compounds in this, when broken down and partially digested, if this creature can change its form, it's possible that this messes with something in that, and would cause things like muscle spasms, possibly resulting in seizures, and if he'd have swallowed the whole thing, possibly death.
So I guess Elizabeth just looks at it and goes, okay, that's a weird one. Because, like, the thing itself is very much not poisonous, but that's changeling, so... And then she'll, like, shrug and be like, no, who knows how that interacts with anything.
Well,
It's still entirely possible, theoretically, that the chemicals in that could easily cause what we've just seen.
if you're saying what I think you're saying, we need to stock up on these leaves as a...
How many
Safe.
changelings are you planning on looking into? Also, they're not exactly common.
You'd also have to force feed it to him.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, well, if you want to double check, yes. However, if we ever, instead of doing all the shit we have had to do before, we can just give someone a leaf. If they have...
Oh, I see what you mean. Because it wouldn't be poisonous if we were to eat the leaf, but it might be for oh.
I guess we have to be very sure that it's not poisonous to, well, anybody else as well.
I mean, am I pretty sure?
With that nature check, it's not lethally poisonous. It will give you extreme gastric distress, but
Great.
Yeah, so she's like, yeah, so Elizabeth's like, okay, so yeah, it's not, like, gonna kill you poisonous, but it's still gonna, not be nice.
yeah, it will fuck you up if you eat it. But
Well,
Yeah. Still shouldn't eat it.
oh, and I guess it's perishable as well. Well, if we're ever in a pickle, it's good to keep in the back.
Also,
of
like,
mind.
if this is all theoretically possible, then I imagine he has to put some effort into making it kill him.
not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Like it's an ingestion poison, but it's an ingestion poison for changelings.
Yeah. No, fair enough then.
There was a chance that it didn't kill him, but the amount that he consumed, it very nearly was.
Yeah. Okay, so in that case, you didn't say that.
Guess we should take a note of what leaf it was.
Yeah, I don't have a name for the plant, but
Well, you'll have to come up with one now.
Oh. That's fine. Well,
Let's cut Will on now, because apparently we think it's important.
well, that's okay because none of your characters know what it is. So
Oh, we don't actually know what it's called.
you don't know what it's called now.
Wow, even on a 22.
Nope.
Wow.
You probably know its genus, but you don't know what it's called or where it grows. So
If I know its genus, that's enough. I can trace it.
you'd need to do some research, but that's fine. So
it's not critical.
the rest of the guards sort of saying, "So, can we help you in some way?"
Well,
Yeah, the reason we came in here in the first place was to have a word with these guys.
Right.
Just because, they've, well, helping investigations and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if we can use them to trace exactly like more details about why they did this and who they did this for, that'd be very, very good.
Make me a persuasion check.
Cool. Nope. God damn it, I rolled a 6.
Woof.
Okay. So the guards sort of like look at
I'm actually decent at persuasion as well.
Elizabeth and to say, well, two of these you sure as hell aren't talking to you right now. And the other one, well, we were going to ask our own questions, but I suppose you can ask one or two. But we will be keeping an eye on you, and you're going to have to do it from this side of the bars.
I guess Elizabeth just looks to the others and it's like, and just like Miles, like, I tried.
Well, I guess it's you. Before we ask them, should probably. I would say there's two questions we want to ask, right? Shall we about the curse and about? Well, I really want to ask about the demon assassin because if we can figure out more as to how and where, that would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that works. That works. So it's probably our those are pretty important questions.
I'm guessing the curse is going to be more hesitant about.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Still something we probably want to find out about, though.
Yeah, well, I guess we might as well try and ask.
He looks up as you approach the bars.
Honestly, I think.
So, well, we're gonna keep it short.
Good. I hate long conversations.
The curse. We learned of the curse. However, we don't know much about it. What do you know?
Sort of like turns his head and smiles and sort of says, well, I'd say if you want to know more about it, go and ask the small brooks.
They're on our to-do list.
Oh, then I guess you'll get your answers.
This guy is annoying me.
And
Yeah, we've been here for.
I mean, can I check that was a truthful statement, or is he just trying to divert? Blade so that we don't ask him
Insight
more?
check.
Oh, I don't think he was lying to us. I think he's just being
Oh, better
shit
safe
about
than sorry.
Yeah.
No.
You have no
That's a no.
idea.
We're great about this.
Yeah, whatever. Look, I was worth a try. Man, I'm rolling like shit.
well, and secondly, well, like, kind of curious. Where did you source the demon? Or summon it?
Where did you source the demon? Is a great.
Where did you?
Can I get a nice farm fresh demon, please?
He
Oh yeah, that's coming right up, man.
he sort of he shuffles a little uncomfortably almost and sort of says, well, I had nothing to do with it, if that's what you're asking.
Oh, you were definitely its handler to some degree.
Handler? No, I don't think so.
Is that truthful?
With an insight check of 0, you can't read. With an insight check of 1, you can't read this guy.
I do not.
Why can't I
trust that.
insight check the next statement?
I do
What?
not trust that for
Fuck.
shit.
Yeah, like it kind of seems to go against what we believe. So
I would personally like to doubt. I would like to press X to doubt.
Yeah, okay. I will allow you to roll an insight check.
Damn it.
And if not, I have something else I'd want to try.
Okay.
Fucking hell. Why are we so bad at this?
Okay.
Ah,
He's hard to read.
I'm salty.
I wonder how upset the guards will get if I mildly try to intimidate him.
I mean, you could certainly try.
Yeah. Ironically, I'm not good at very good at intimidating people. I mean,
When you can't physically impose on them, yes.
no. I mean, really, what I want to do is just like kind of get up as close to the bars as I can and just be. Oh fuck! How exactly did he word it? He said I wasn't directly involved with that.
Yeah, he was. He said I wasn't directly involved with the sourcing the demon. Yes.
So,
No, he was the seasoner, not the saucer.
well,
Jesus.
literally, that kind of does make sense.
Yeah. No. Well, then why don't you tell us what you know about it anyway, even if you weren't the source of it?
Roll me intimidate check with disadvantage.
Fuck.
Double 20.
Yeah. Unfortunately, being on the other side of bars.
Yeah, it's very difficult to intimidate him when he's under police protection.
Yeah. I kind of lose all of the normal intimidation factor that I have.
Yeah.
We've been
Oh,
rolling
that's
very
bad.
sadly.
Yeah, it's bad. It's not good.
He he looks at you for a moment and just sort of says, if you want to know really what I did, all I ever did was watch you. And I was very good at it.
Gross.
Yeah, that's like the creepiest statement you could ever make.
That is so creepy.
I learned a lot of your secrets.
It just gets worse.
Yeah, Elizabeth's now just gonna say, yeah, now I'm very glad you're in there.
Oh. Good
So
thing we
am
don't
I.
have too many secrets.
I'd say you have enough. I know where you live, I know about your friends.
No, not really secrets now, are they?
No, but they were very valuable to the people who wanted to know about them.
I can't disagree with that statement.
I guess the guards are looking at us now as if to be
Yeah,
like,
Say,
there's like 3 of them watching you.
But they
Say,
don't seem like they want to stop us from asking more questions at this time.
No. Like, as long as this is going amicably, they seem to be alright.
have you met her?
I don't understand the question.
yeah, who's her?
I guess that's a no.
I, as the DM, do not understand the question.
Oh, I'm referring like to in the dream I was being told about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's
And
without explaining who you're referring to. That's very hard to convey to him.
yeah. Hmm. Well, never mind. I guess we forgot to ask one of the simplest questions of them all. Who do you report to?
Who are you working for?
Okay, yeah. I guess yeah. I guess his response is yeah. I guess I have to think about this in terms of context. He says, up until a few weeks ago, it was the tiefling. After that, it was the oh, wait, no, he wouldn't know that. After that, it was Illyria.
Thanks.
Wait, who's the tiefling? Out of character, am I forgetting somebody
I
we're aware of?
Yeah, I don't remember a tiefling either.
I don't remember either. Or seeing one to begin with.
Has that been mentioned at any point?
If 4 of you can't remember it, seems like a pretty important detail that you'd forget.
Well, then I guess Elizabeth will say, "What tiefling?"
Oh. You don't know? She seemed pretty acquainted with you.
We know several. A name would be nice.
I don't know a name.
Appearance, then?
Tall, dark hair, purple.
Have we seen anyone of that description?
A couple. It's not a great description.
No, it's really
Yeah.
I
not.
gathered as much.
Like, it suits temerity from
Yeah, I was
way
gonna
back
say,
when.
that sounds like temerity, and that's concerning mildly.
Hmm.
Here in this city or elsewhere.
Here and there, mostly here.
That. Don't like that at all.
I guess Elizabeth will then say, like, look, so you say you took orders from Illyria. Are you part of their little group then?
He sort of he runs his fingers like through the dust for a moment and just sort of says, "Yeah, I am."
Okay, that sounds don't like how he said that.
Yeah, same.
I'm assuming I can't roll another insight check.
You can't.
Can I roll an insight check? 'Cause
Yeah,
Arya
sure.
also does.
No, if you haven't rolled an insight check, you can roll an insight check.
Look, I didn't question the first guy.
No, I'm just saying, if you haven't rolled an insight check yet, you can roll one.
Wow, that is not great.
We are
Yeah.
the fucking worst at insight, guys.
So he's
Turns out there's a reason we never rolled insight checks. It's
Yeah.
because we suck at them.
Arya, like, when he says it, like, there's a certain satisfaction to it. Like, yeah, it's difficult to place, but it's almost like he says it with pride, I guess.
Okay.
And that's about all you read from it.
Well, then I guess Elizabeth would then just say, like, so you're also working against the Dread Legion?
need to think about this for a moment. I guess his response is, not directly.
But
Well, then, do you indirectly? Because as far as I'm concerned, none of you work against them directly.
That's the purview of our leadership.
Well, so one of the big part of them is working against fairly directly.
I would say, I mean, directly is like would be marching down to, would be knocking on their front door with an army.
I deal in information and acquisition. People point me in a direction, and I find out stuff, or I take stuff.
Oh, actually, there's one thing we should do before we, or at least one thing we should definitely make sure we do. Be sure to take in looks and everything, so we can, detect his presence in the future. Fine.
Yep. Yeah, he is a short, gingery blonde halfling with basically like a like mutton chops on the side of his face. He isn't particularly visually distinct beyond that, but as you sort of take him in, you notice he does have the thing that makes him visually distinct is he has quite a flat nose, which looks like at some point it was broken just above the brow, and hasn't quite healed properly, to the point where there's like a bulge on the bridge of his nose. So yeah, you are aware of some of his visual distinctions.
Which mean when you specify short, you mean short even for a halfling?
Yeah, short even for a halfling, to the point where he's probably closer to Grimm's height than halfling height. So like he's more towards the 3 end of the 3 to 4 feet.
Well, I guess, but I guess at least we can. At least we know some. Is there anything else we? I think we got most of what we need to ask right now.
Yeah, I think so.
I guess there was one question that might be a little interesting. What's it like to command vampires?
Okay, so he rubs his chin and just sort of says, well, you command them, at least those thralls, in the same way that you command a pack of rabid dogs, in that you convince them that you aren't food and then you point them in the general direction of something. More direct control is difficult. And he sort of points across to the cell next to him where the changeling is unconscious and says, he was better at that.
Interesting.
sorry, what was the question that you asked?
What's it like to command vampires?
Oh, okay. I heard what's it like to command and then didn't hear the last bit and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what was just said.
feel like Grim would make an excellent addition to the Dawn Guard.
Well, fortunately, the guy we was more curious about, or well, I say more curious, expected more answers from is still unconscious. But you might know something. You know of any well, hits that were planned, murders?
We don't usually resort to that sort of thing.
Oh,
Would have fooled me.
Jayla.
well,
Look.
Yeah, I mean, I was
Yes.
just going to ask,
He-
so what, the church, the incident at the church wasn't your doing?
Oh no, that was definitely us. It
Yeah,
was.
so much so we don't resort to murder.
yeah, but I feel like that's slightly different than what is.
That
was
was a
more referring to-
mistake.
What do you mean by that?
Somebody made a mistake and we had to clean up. Smallbrook kid saw something he shouldn't have.
That's interesting. So you wouldn't happen to know the guy next to you, right?
Which one?
Not the changeling, the other one.
Not personally.
But I imagine that means you've seen him around.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He
I
knew
guess
the
that means
gang
you-
as well.
I guess that means you're not close enough in order to know why they decided to go for assassinations.
Sort of cocks his head quizzically.
That's fine.
Alright then.
I mean,
Is that
she
all your
part of little
questions?
gang as well.
He sort of chuckles and says, "What do you think?" So, are you done asking questions?
Depends, are you done giving answers?
Depends what questions you have left. I've been told what I can't say.
Yeah. Well, perhaps we'll meet again.
I hope not.
Same.
I guess we're leaving then.
I believe so.
Tell your plant friend I said hi.
Yeah, sure.
Wait, what did he say?
Tell your
Plant
plant
friend.
friend I said hi.
Oh no.
How about I shove your tongue inside your mouth so hard you will never speak again?
How about we not get violent?
the guards just like step between you and the cell.
Yeah. Yeah. How about we don't get violent? And yeah, let's go away from the cell.
Just waves goodbye.
So yeah, I'd like to talk to a guard that's out of the earshot of him.
Yep.
And just say, would it be too much to ask to let us know when when the other one wakes up? Not the changeling.
I don't know. Where are you planning on being?
So just leave the address up for it.
Sorry, say that
You know
again.
what? You know what? We'll
Alright.
just come back later.
All right.
Oh, okay. I would suggest you just leave the address apart in.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll tell them what inn we're staying at.
Okay. Sure, I'll let you know.
Cool. Let's go.
Okay. So you leave. Where are you headed?
Well,
Going to the small brooks now, or are we like gonna put that off for a little bit?
I feel like we should go to them sooner rather than later.
there's a
I
few
feel like we should go to the tavern if we're gonna have a serious talk about what to do next.
Grim,
Yeah.
you were saying.
Because the classic "let's not talk about this in a public setting."
I mean, we can smash cut to that scene. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's-
exactly.
Well, I was also thinking.
I was trying to specify, like, are we going to go to the tavern to have a conversation? Because the amount of times we just have those conversations, then it's like, oh yeah, we're still at the public place.
Well, I was thinking. Well, because we could also tie up some ends currently. For example, the stolen amulet. We know exactly where it is, and that they don't care about anything, and that she'll never get her amulet back.
I mean, yeah, that's a thing. Did they what did they actually do to the amulet once they took the stone out of it?
They just crushed it, right?
Oh, they smashed it.
Yeah. Basically, all that was left and was discarded is a gold stone setting
Yeah, fair.
and shards of a fake opal.
Yeah, fair. I mean, yeah, I suppose we can inform her what happened.
And then, you know,
Might as
well,
well.
I guess that doesn't mean, yeah, I guess it doesn't mean much, really. She said if we found it, we would get a reward, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
think we're gonna ever find it again.
maybe if we tell her a story, she will like what
Well,
the artifact truly was.
regardless, we have a story to tell her, and she's very much. Well, the threat is over, I suppose.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to Othel Manor.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it would seem.
So fast forward to Othel Manor. After a rigorous security check to ensure that you are who you say you are let inside, and you request the housemaster to meet with Lady Othel. She agrees, and you meet Lady Othel in an upstairs chamber, and she says, "Well, what news do you have?"
I'm afraid
Um,
it's
It's
mixed.
not. It's not the. Mixed news. I mean, the good news is the threat seems to have passed.
Well, mostly.
What do you mean?
Well, we found the people who were behind most of the goings on in town. It's just the unfortunate thing is we could not recover the amulet from them.
Well, long story short, turns out there was that the story about the black opal, right? It was the black opal,
Yes.
I believe.
Yeah.
Held more truth to it than you might imagine. And they were in the black opal, there was a shard of what I believe to be a creature. That they're trying to gather these shards. In the process, however, the opal was destroyed. We found we found like the remains of the opal and the amulet.
You just present the gold setting.
Yes.
Make me a persuasion check. Because this is a pretty fantastic story.
Can I help with that?
Switch.
I'm going to say no in this circumstance.
Ah!
Holy shit, Grim!
Oh my god, Grim!
Damn.
Did it!
Yeah.
Look, it's fine.
Grim's like, here's the chance to get some money for this. I gotta be
Let's get some money. Time to pass the persuasion check.
Oh my
Sorry,
god.
Minnie, not to put Grim on blast like that.
I can't.
I
believe
mean, it's legit though.
it's
So,
the most forced stereotype ever.
Lady Othel sort of like looks at you and just sort of says, I think if anyone else would have told me that story, I probably would have called for the guards, because that is honestly the single most ridiculous story I've ever heard.
That's valid.
There.
Yeah, we didn't expect you to think too much of it, but at least there's some kind of closure, I guess.
Yes.
Although it will mean that, well, to be honest, we were more after the group that took the opal than we were here to actually stay on guard duty. It was more of a means to an end. I guess it half worked. So unless there is anything else, I assume. Well, I think we will be leaving you alone from now on.
Well, if, as you say, the threat is indeed over, the amulet is destroyed, and the people who dared break into my home have disappeared, then I suppose I have little need for you on contract anymore.
We will still be around, doing some more cleanup for the next several days, probably.
Cav just died.
Goodbye.
Death.
But till then, well, we'll be where we've always been, I guess.
Well.
Good luck, and
Good luck.
maybe try like one step less real legends. It's a lot safer, but a lot less exciting, I'll admit.
She grins what I can only describe as a knife-like grin.
This
And
bitch
just-
is about to kill you.
And she just sort of says, and I will pay you what you are owed, have you escorted from my premises, and will not be giving a glowing recommendation.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well. There's
Oh,
only so much we
Grim.
can-
Yeah, you leave. You are paid what is it that you're owed? I think it's like 8 gold per person.
Something like that.
So you all get 8 gold, including the Sira.
Yay.
Which I don't know that the Sira has a tracker for, but you can add it to party funds if you want.
What do you mean? She should have her own gold.
She just doesn't. She doesn't have anywhere to track it, which is a problem because she's got a different star sheet now. I guess we'll have a thing called inventory.
I was gonna say, if
8
not, I can just
gold. There we go.
add it to my sheet as a separate tracker, but no. Yep. you
No,
put
I've put it in there now.
I see it.
Yep. So you guys are all paid 8 gold. And yeah, you are promptly escorted off the premises.
LOL.
Wow.
Can't believe you managed to offend our person, Minnie.
But with a 15, it was not sufficient to have you thrown out on your ear unpaid.
No, that's something at least.
No, it could have gone. It could have gone better, but it also could have gone much worse.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we'll take the
Well.
win where we can get it. I think.
I told her as it was.
Yep.
And she couldn't handle the truth.
You can handle the truth. Cool.
Honestly, nobody can in this universe. I don't know why.
It's because you make it sound like awful. Oh, hey, Gav.
Welcome back.
Hello again.
We got kicked out, but we got paid.
Hello?
Hello.
I love
Yeah.
that you come back to that.
You are escorted off the premises after you get paid. Lady Othel was not best pleased.
Yeah, sorry about that. I have no idea what just happened.
It's alright.
It's all good.
It happens.
Like, literally, everything just stopped.
Okay. So. Where are you headed now?
Well,
Good question.
you know what? Let's walk up to the manor,
To the small brook
the
estate.
Small Brooks.
Yes. Okay.
We've almost made it to the estate multiple times.
Mhm.
Actually, we made it once.
So
Made it once and you vaguely threatened the guard and then left.
you walk up the road towards the small brook estate to find that basically at the end of the road there is basically like a police cordon, effectively.
Alright.
A police cordon? That's...
Yeah, do you not remember the guards had...
Yeah, basically a line of guards blocking off the road with like.
Oh, okay. Now, for some reason, I thought there was like that they are guards, not city.
No, like yeah, city guard.
As it was just a sort of go, I thought they said they were going to be subtle about this.
Clearly not.
Maybe.
He said as subtle as possible.
Yeah, I imagine that cordoning off anything with guards is not going to be very subtle at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
are they
let's-
going to just let us through?
Well, what are they gonna do? Isolate the small brooks completely?
I thought that was the point of a cordoning off an area.
Yeah, it was to make sure nobody
Yep.
entered or left.
Yeah, but like for how long can it last? Well, I guess we can ask.
So you walk up to the cordon.
Um, good afternoon.
Kelariis and Arya, you recognize one of the guards standing at the cordon as one of the guards that you ran into last night.
Oh. You know, the greatest thing about that is we didn't ask their names.
You did not.
Nope.
We
When
never
do we-
ask any names.
When do we ever ask anyone's name?
So-
Sometimes.
Grim approaches the nearest guard and addresses them.
Good afternoon, I guess.
Ah, hello there.
I assume this has been closed off for now.
As indeed.
Any clue as to when it will open back up?
he just sort of like he sort of pauses for a moment and sort of says, "Well, I kind of imagine you'd be able to tell me that."
Unfortunately, we've not been informed as to the all the direct the details of the proceedings. We
Well, we're on the Paladin's instructions to keep this place cordoned off and keep a track of anyone who enters or leaves, or tries to enter or leave, until the investigation is resolved. That's unfortunately all the instruction I've been given.
Does that mean you can let us through to conduct the investigation?
Yes, the Paladin did mention this, so the way this is going to work, I can't stop you from going, but we are basically going to have to log this as a breach of the perimeter, just for safety reasons. So just be warned that the moment you come out, we are going to search you and make sure you are who you say you are.
That's fine.
That's
I mean,
fine.
yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Thank you. Some people are a little understandably awkward about that.
Have other people tried to come in or leave?
Not this not here and now. It's
In the past.
in the past. There have been a couple of people who don't take too well to it. Usually people who aren't used to being told what to do.
I imagine
The
Noble.
sort of shrugs and is like, if it needs to be done, it needs to be done.
Well, admittedly, our visit might be fairly short, considering it did not come with an appointment. We're hoping that they want to talk to us. They have. But yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I guess we'll
So you pass through.
see you. Yeah, in a bit.
So you march up the path to the estate. As you get to the front door, the front door is open.
Oh.
Huh.
I feel like we can't just wander in.
Yeah, can I knock on it anyway?
Yep. There's no response from inside.
Hello?
How far is the courtition? Or how far is the
The police cordon?
court?
Probably 100 or so feet, maybe a bit more. No, actually, it's probably further than that because it would be further than the end of the gut. So maybe 300 feet.
You know what? Maybe we should just go back and ask if they know anything about this.
From when you were standing back at the cordon, they probably can't see the door from here.
No, but if all the guards left, they should know, because breach of thing.
I mean, you can walk back and ask.
I mean, can I just try thing? Is anybody in? Just half shouting through the door.
Yep. There is no response.
I don't like it.
No, I don't like this either.
Yeah, that makes me uncomfortable.
I think not all of us should go ask the guards what's going on, just
No.
in case.
I will stay here.
I mean,
Arya,
only
would you
one
like to
person
stay
has to
with?
go ask the guards, right?
Oh.
I guess
well.
I'll just ask the same guy. See if we've
Okay.
already established.
You send the
relationship.
slowest person down the hill.
I mean, I can go. I'm much faster than Grim.
You know what? That would work. You
Yeah.
can. I'm sure they'll be fine with you.
I mean, Arya and Lyra running together can cover it in 12 seconds or something ridiculous. No,
Yeah,
not
it's
quite 12 seconds.
Pretty fast.
Yeah, but then they would also have to be sprinting, which is...
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, Usain Bolt.
It's fine.
Get wrecked by the Wolf Ranger combo.
So you run down the hill to the guards. They sort of like, oh, that was fast.
That's great. Can you give me an update on what exactly is happening here?
You just came in and walked up the hill and then came back.
I meant before we got here.
Before you got here? Nothing.
No movement, no comings and goings.
Nobody's come and gone. It's been very quiet.
Mm. Have you...
Maybe you should just ask. Maybe you should just straight up ask about the fact the door's open.
Yeah, the door was open when we arrived. Did you open it?
We just formed the cordon and have stayed here. We haven't been up to the house.
I see. Well, just let us know if there's anything else you see that's suspicious.
Will do.
And I run back up the
You
hill.
run up? Okay.
I almost feel like we need to bring, like, a guard along as a witness that we're not doing anything bad.
I mean, we could do. They'd probably just slow us down, though.
And the guard would probably get killed.
Yeah, that's what I'm also worried about,
Yeah.
is
Maybe
they're not
okay.
as
So
solid
we're
as
just
we
gonna
are.
go in.
Yes.
Tallithsyr just sort of like pipes up and just says, well, I mean, they maybe saw us coming up the hill. Maybe they're waiting for us?
Well, otherwise if anything, we can. So we're returning their emblems. Then I'll just pull out the. Oh, what's it
Oh,
called?
the holy
green
symbols,
eye
yeah.
marbles.
Well, I guess.
I think no matter what.
Is
we
it
should go in.
inappropriate? Is it inappropriate for me to treat this with maximum suspicion?
No.
Cool.
Yeah, no,
And
this
then
is
I'm gonna
definitely
cast
suspicious.
I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay, you cast Mage Armor on
Alright, that's
yourself.
fair enough.
Swing.
Yeah, like, Tallithsyr is like hand-on sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone be very cautious. We don't know exactly what we're walking.
Do we have our armor?
Yes. Yes, we do.
I'm gonna assume
Yes.
that you do.
Okay, I was
I
gonna
mean,
say
also-
we weren't
No.
fools this time,
Yeah.
right?
I'm also going to draw my dagger and cast light on it.
Okay. It is light inside the house.
I know, but just in case.
Okay, you cast light on the dagger.
Like I can keep light on it just in case we need a light.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
necessarily have to be using it at all times. I can just cast light and sheath it. We've got a light if we need to within an hour.
Okay. So, you step inside the open door into a meticulously maintained manor house. As you step inside, the hard wooden floor just sort of echoes under your feet as you walk. Down what is basically like a portrait-lined hallway.
As we go, I suggest you detect magic, considering all the others probably had magical safeguards. I imagine there might be some here.
Good point. And I will cast Detect
Okay.
Magic. as
Cast
well.
Detect Magic. As you look around, give me just a quick perception check.
Cool. for fuck's sake!
Okay.
2 natural ones in a row.
So, as you cast your gaze around, the thing that draws your attention most is... I need to actually check what kind of magic this is. Okay, it is... so, there is a large fuzzy blob of conjuration magic that appears in the hallway in front of you. That, now that you become aware of its presence, if you were to attribute humanoid aspects to it, it would be almost like a dummy or a mannequin of sorts, with very vague humanoid characteristics, and it's sort of standing in front of you with like hands steepled, which definitely wasn't there before.
Oh, so it's like a figure.
Very loosely, yes. With your arcane knowledge, you've seen these before. They're not uncommon around magic users. This is an unseen servant.
Ah. Excellent spell.
And with your detect magic spell, this is effectively a permanent unseen servant that's just standing in this hallway.
Interesting.
That is, it appears to be just anchored to a thing on the wall, like it's perpetually sustained by a thing on the wall. Like somebody hasn't cast this; this just exists permanently.
I guess Elizabeth would just say, there's an unseen servant here. Just like there. I mean, would it respond to things I told it to do? I don't think it would it?
If it's programmed to respond to commands, it will, but you don't necessarily know which commands it would be programmed to do.
Yeah, fair.
It doesn't move or react to you in any way. It's just standing there.
I mean, I guess of all the things to have in the household of influential family, an unseen servant is probably not the weirdest thing.
No, it just slightly alarmed me to just notice there was a figure stood there. It was a bit weird.
Yeah, it's just the vision expanded in front of you, and you just saw this haze in front of you.
I should probably move on before vision runs out.
Yeah, probably.
So, in this hallway, all the doors are closed. Basically, like, until there's like at the end of the hallway, there's like a set of stairs that like spirals up to the left or to the right. Sorry.
So, where do we want to go first? I guess sweep the ground floor first.
Yeah. Ground floor.
So keep an eye out for anything that leads to a cellar, because cellars are always popular choices for.
For evil rituals.
For sketchy shit.
Unless these guys know that and deliberately put it like in the least suspicious, in like the least obvious spot to
The
throw us
second
off.
floor.
As you go through, as you go to all of the doors in the main hall, all of the doors are locked.
Of course they are.
Classic.
Let's not force anything.
I mean, didn't you guys pick up thieves' tools the last time you were here?
Did we?
I think we have some.
Cough, you did, cough.
You do.
Oh.
You do have some.
However, I feel like now is not the time. Let's see what we can find before we start. Well,
Breaking in.
Picking
Yeah.
locks, I suppose.
currently we're just responding to a potential distress call by lack of people.
You are really
Okay.
trying to make this like.
Look, it's because was it like last week or the week before? People were so worried about breaking the law. It's like,
It's really just Elizabeth.
Yeah, I guess.
I was like, you're
So-
saying this to the person who does not give a
Yeah,
shit.
you're saying that to the two chaotics.
So you're climbing the stairs then.
Suppose so.
So you head up the stairs that curve away and around to the right. And as you do so, you come out onto a long landing.
I thought it was left.
I said left initially, yes, but it is in fact to the right. So yeah, there's a sprawling landing like rolls off in front of you, and standing in a doorway at the end of the hallway is a man in a basically like a black suit. He's got like he's got like tan skin and a thin pencil moustache. And seeing you approach, he nods at you and then steps back into the room.
I'm sorry?
Excuse me?
Hello?
He's just disappeared back into the room.
That was... I mean, I'm guessing there's an open door then?
Yes, at the end of the hallway.
Okay, guess we're going in the open door.
Can't wait to step in there and get murdered.
Absolutely.
I too am
There's
looking forward to
no way
death.
this ends in anything else.
In that case, if we're
Yes.
worried, I should probably go first.
Yeah, get the
Yeah.
tank in there.
Please take the lead.
I'm just gonna fucking like grin.
Get yourself a grim body hard.
Oh god.
Get
Okay.
yourself the finest Grim Bodyguard!
So,
He can't be taken
Only
down by
4
any-
easy payments of $9.99.
Grim, you step into this open chamber, where basically the dominant feature in this room is a large 4-poster bed. The red curtains are drawn to the sides, and you see the man with the pencil moustache has perched on a small stool at the side of this bed, and is absent-mindedly stroking like the head of a woman who is like lying in the bed. She doesn't really seem to be moving other than like her lips, which are occasionally just like flickering in like the vaguest like shape of like whispered words. And she is like white as a sheet. And he just looks up as you come in and just sort of gestures to the rest of the room, like as if to say, "Come in."
You know what? Might as well.
Yeah. I mean, as we're walking in, as we're gonna go, is everything okay?
Yeah, just come in. I think we'll be okay for now.
No, it's like she says that as she's walking in, like
Oh.
talking to Mustache Man.
Besides, there's a good chance this is just another test.
He looks at you, shakes his head, like taps his lips, and then makes like a slicing motion with his hand across his neck.
You
He wants us to be quiet.
guessing?
He shakes his head at you, Arya.
Oh, just kidding.
Is it just
He
that you
can't speak,
can't
okay.
talk?
He For a moment, he seems to almost be straining against an invisible force, and then does nothing.
He can't speak.
Well, he tapped his lips, and then so he might be being held hostage, kind of, by a curse.
Possible.
Is there any way we can help?
Can you see magic on Elizabeth?
That's a
Or
good
is
question,
that-
can I?
That is not necessarily how that spell works.
That's
What?
fair.
I don't believe you can see active effects on a creature, can you? Or can you?
Can use action to see a faint aura on any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic.
Oh, okay then. So,
Yeah, it straight up says if it has magic on it, then
yes,
yeah,
in that case, yes, you can. Let me find out what kind of magic.
I'll just straight up roll it. There you go.
Yeah. It is. He is under the effects of an enchantment spell.
Can I dispel it?
You can try.
Yeah, I'd like to try and cast dispel magic on him. At 3rd level.
You cast dispel magic at 3rd level. It does nothing.
Oh, it just straight up does nothing.
I do wonder if this is the curse that the halfling was talking about.
Yeah.
It's like
Let's give it a
It's definitely. Oh, is there anything on the woman as well then?
No, the woman is not affected.
Okay. Anything else in the room magical? Or affected by magic?
There are some minor magical effects, primarily on the mirror in the room, as well as something in the ceiling, but what that is you don't know. Hang on, let's... Oops, that's not the right thing I'm searching in. The mirror... Okay, so both the mirror and the ceiling are transmutation magic. But that is it.
Yeah. I guess I will slightly hush to the party, just say he's under the effects of some kind of enchantment, but I can't dispel it. And what's it? The mirror and the ceiling are both under some form of transmutation. But aside from that, nothing else.
Well, I mean, if it's
What does transmutation do?
Like, turn one thing into another thing.
Or alters the state of things.
Or yeah. Changes the state of something, whether it be just... Yeah. Basically.
So why would that be on the ceiling and on the mirror?
Yeah, that's why I'm suspicious.
the mirror, I am less concerned about. It's more the ceiling.
Yeah, the ceiling having it is pretty concerning. Can we dispel it?
Is it the whole ceiling or just a specific part of the ceiling?
It is two small patches on the ceiling.
And where are they? Are they like easily avoided?
They are either side of the four-poster bed. Like, basically at the headboard end of the ceiling.
Ah, okay. So either side of the bed, right at the head of it.
Yeah, with the without looking at the magic vision, the locations that Elizabeth points out, there's there's two decorative brass discs at the points that Elizabeth points to.
Hmm.
Could that mean those discs aren't really there?
No, that'd be an illusion.
That'd probably be illusion.
I'm guessing that if he's sat by the bed, is he sat underneath one of them?
Sort of.
Or is he like sat in a way that in order to approach him we'd have to pass under it?
No, it's the way he's, yeah, I suppose the way he's sitting, he's underneath it.
Okay.
I suppose, yeah, actually, you've been having this conversation out loud.
Yeah, although keeping it hushed.
I
I mean, I also kind of want to turn to him and say, like, have you been cursed?
Again, he looks at you and just grimaces.
It might be like
Say,
Not a lot to
curse.
say.
Can you uncurse the guy or attempt to?
sorry, repeat that. A very loud
Uh,
crowd just passed outside the window.
Can you try and like break the curse, or do you have that?
Yes,
no.
I can. I guess yeah, I kind of. I guess, yeah, Elizabeth, let me know if the mirror or whatever those things on the ceiling start to do anything weird, I guess. And I will
Okay.
step forward and
Okay.
I think I have to touch two.
I think you do, yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do.
Yeah. So I will kind of like reach out a hand and just say, may I?
He doesn't react.
I take that as a yes, I think, and just lay a hand on his shoulder.
Okay. And you cast a remove curse.
Yeah. I only have a third level.
Can you
so-
roll me the, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so you cast remove curse on him, and Elizabeth, you watch as the aura just disperses into just ambient magic,
Okay, I think that worked.
and he looks you in the eyes, Kelariis, and he says, "Thank you. I'm very glad you came, and that you worked this out."
What on earth is going on?
I think perhaps it is best for us to start at the beginning.
Perhaps.
It's a very good
yes.
place to start.
Yep.
I am Chiron Smallbrook.
Tyron?
Chiron, yes. Khairon.
H.
Chiron.
What's happened here?
It's a long tale.
We have time. Well, not really, but we have time.
We have time.
Well, I suppose first things first, so I don't have to spend, so I can actually look at you during this conversation. Do you know what's affecting the ceiling and the mirror here? That's magic.
There's nothing for you to be concerned about. Merely ambient
Yeah,
improvements.
Yes. So they're not. Yeah, I'm
keep
gonna need
them
you to tell me
clean.
exactly what it is if you can, just to not.
He
to not
raises
feel-
a hand in the air and snaps his fingers. And a small breeze fills the room.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Alright, that's fair enough then.
It's quite nice, actually.
Well, it's
now I
actually
know
quite
what I
cold,
would-
but...
Well,
Sorry, I think that sounds great right about
Yep.
now.
I mean, Elizabeth
Um,
thinks that is great.
Alright
Elizabeth
then.
doesn't mind a bit of cold.
Let's hear the story.
Well, I can only assume that last night you encountered the people who were looking for you.
You could say
Yeah,
that.
you could say that.
They left in quite a hurry.
That they did.
Yeah, we were very close to just walking on in this place, but well, you being a noble house and all makes it a little tricky.
I think it is perhaps fortunate that you didn't. At least for my sake.
Why?
Those people have been preying on myself and my family for, well, over a year now. Several years, in fact, if you count their original introduction.
What have they been doing?
See for yourself. He sort of indicates the woman in the bed.
What's wrong with her?
She's dying.
Is there anything we can do?
I do not know. He sort of, like, brushes gently, like, across her forehead and says, "This is my wife, and my mother of my children."
What did they do to her?
Drained her of her life to sustain themselves.
I assume if I look at her neck, do I see bite marks?
Yeah, there are numerous puncture wounds across the space of her neck.
Fucking vampires, man. They're just
No.
son of bitches, aren't they?
Could we heal her?
I can try. I don't.
It can't hurt to try, right?
Has anyone tried to use healing magic on her before?
I was unable to ask for help.
Well, help's here now.
You
It
can
was
try.
more to rule out any possibilities of what may or may not help, but
I do not know.
Well, only one way to find out, I guess.
I guess, God, I don't think there's any fucking way that I would know what sort of, like, way to combat long-lasting effects of vampires feeding on people.
You can make me a very, very difficult religion check.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think I know, like, I don't think I know anything, like, I don't think that I can I can try, but I don't think it's gonna go
Could
very
I make
well.
that religion check?
You can certainly try.
I mean, it's probably gonna be a... Yeah.
Actually,
I
if
might as
I'm
well
gonna be
try.
completely honest, I don't think that there's any way that I could fucking know that.
Okay.
Like, I don't think that there's any way Kelariis would have known something.
I read about it in a book once.
You do not know.
Oh, no, I don't. I didn't read about it in a book once.
Mm. I mean,
Well, I say, well, with the 23, currently, like, what she's suffering from is just blood loss. She is like from her like pale complexion and the way that she's like half in and out of consciousness, she's just exsanguinated to the point of delirium.
So we could heal her, theoretically.
You don't know. You can try.
I mean, we might as well try.
yeah, I
Well,
mean, I guess I will
before you-
try.
Before you do, like, do we know anything about vampires? Like making people, like, well, immune to
also-
healing, or healing counterproductive?
Can vampires anti-heal?
Like I like imagine. Well, like it could be the classic movie trope. I can't.
Well, I
remember.
mean, I don't. Healing spells specify they don't work on the undead, so
Yes, I will say that is the use case that you are aware of. If she is undead, it will not work.
But she's
Or a
not
construct.
It's
yeah.
As
she's
far
undead
as you're
construct doesn't
aware.
work. So basically, if
Well,
we cast
we
this
can-
on her and it doesn't work, we can safely assume she's probably turning into a
Well,
vampire.
here I can do this first. Can I channel my divine paladin?
You
senses
can
to
channel.
see if she's-
Yep. You channel your divine sense. She's not undead.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm going to
Great.
try to heal her. What?
Okay.
Did you say wait or great?
I said great.
Oh, okay, I heard wait and I was like, what am I waiting? What
Okay.
No,
happened?
wait, no.
Yeah, I guess
You lay on hands, or
yeah, I'm gonna lay on hands. I guess like mechanics wise, I want to do a little bit of the, because I don't know if this is kind of like a disease sort of deal or if this is something else. I'm gonna do like a little bit of that and a little bit of regular healing.
okay. So you remove disease first, and then
Yeah.
heal.
And then heal a little bit. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just take off 15 total basically for that because
Okay. So you watch as you place your hands on her, utter a prayer, and you watch as, like, from your hands, colour spreads across her body. Her eyes, which were like misty and white, sort of begin to recede and return to their normal colour. She takes one deep breath and promptly passes out.
Well, that's
Oh.
fair enough.
yeah, that's okay. I think. Like still alive. not,
Yeah,
like-
would
Okay.
definitely alive. Like, has a pulse, has a heartbeat more than she did before.
I mean, is she breathing more normally? That's the real question.
She is breathing deeply.
Right.
But yes, it's
Rest.
probably the shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, rest is probably definitely what she needs right now.
He just like watches this whole thing and says, "I don't know who you are. Well, I know something about you, but thank you. I suppose that is the words I'm looking for."
You're welcome. I'm sorry that this happened.
Now, can you explain to us how this came to be?
But before we go there, is there anything else on the premise we should be aware of?
He sort of shakes his head and says, "When they left, I dismissed all of the staff. I did not want them to have any involvement in this."
Would you like me to close the door then?
He just sort of looks at you and says,
The door was open.
"In my experience, doors are not sufficient to keep things out."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we.
I suppose you've got a point there.
I think with you
Oh.
here, I have the least to fear.
I suppose we have a story to listen to.
No. The story is, well, it spans many years, but the story itself is relatively short. A small book family made its way in this town by trading. My grandfather ran the empire, then I ran it. It's been passed down for many generations. But there was a darker side to it. Occasionally, people would want things that other people wouldn't want them to have. Contraband, forbidden artifacts, things like that. It was a side business of the family to move those things as well. Never really caused us any harm. Till my son, Gerald.
Gerald.
What's funny about that name?
That's a funny name.
I'm trying to tell a serious story.
Then don't name your serious character Gerald.
Shut up, Luka. It's fucking story time and you're ruining it.
We're also stressed.
Yes.
Everything's more funny when you're stressed.
Stop ruining story time.
My son
Story
Gerald
time.
received an very lucrative offer to take a sword from a collector and to deliver it to another individual. Eventually, as my son followed his inquisitive nature and asked a few too many questions, he discovered the man he was trying to sell, or the man who was paying him to bring this sword, was a man named Lycidius. But not just a man. Powerful creature of the night. This sword had powers. Dark powers. When he found out why the Lycidius wanted the sword, he did something foolish. He gave the sword to one of his colleagues, and a fellow smuggler, and told him to hide it somewhere where it could never be found. And then he had a fake made, which he attempted to pacify this Lycidius with. Of course, being powerful, Lycidius found out. And the first I knew of all this was when he turned up on my doorstep, carrying my son in chains, although at that point it was no longer my son. He had drained the very life from him and turned him into one of those thralls. He looked me in the eye and told me everything that had happened. And well, next thing he threatened me. Told me if I was ever to come across that sword ever again, then I would return it to him. And then to make sure I would do exactly that, he cursed me. Unable to tell anyone the truth. I thought it was all over. Then one day he came back. Had I known it was him, I perhaps would have tried to get rid of him, but it was my wife that answered the door. Before I knew anything was happening, she was under their spell and she'd invited them inside. I don't know much about these vampires, but I know the sanctity of domain is one of their weaknesses. It's our only defense against them. But once you let them in, there's no getting rid of them.
No.
They used my home as a staging ground. Fed off my wife. And I could do nothing. That was under his control. This damnable curse made me do everything that he dictated, else my heart should stop. He didn't say much about what he was up to. Till my other son, stumbled across what it was that they were doing. Told me everything.
What's that?
Hunting two things. An amulet and you. Richard found out that they're an organization called the Cabal. I know that they learned about you from finding another who follows their benefactor, an entity called Sabero.
We've heard it.
Just that, yeah.
Yeah, you have heard that name before.
Have we?
Grim has, definitely, and I think the others have as well.
Elizabeth hasn't.
Yes. This entity provides their foot soldiers with power. My son, he came to me and told me all of this. Tried to keep it a secret. And when I said, just looked me in the eyes and asked me if there was anything happening, I could only tell him the truth. Everything my son had overheard. I told him to take refuge in the church, but it was not enough. So there's the story of how the Cabal robbed me not only of my willpower, but my son's, my livelihood, and every inch of my pride. And that is why I so desperately wanted to meet you, all of you.
If anyone's gonna go after, we're well. I say if we are already kind of going after, as complicated as.
Yes. They showed interest in you, in everything that you've done. But I have never seen those creatures afraid of anything. But when they spoke of your group, there was at least some trepidation. Concern. They think you an asset to be turned, but I beg you, do not.
Dave,
No plans of that.
Yeah.
I feel like we would lose a lot of our strength, like sheerly because of the gods would abandon us. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Admittedly, not a problem for me, but
Grim, please.
I
I feel like I feel like I still have some ethics.
Don't worry, they
Should
will
hope so.
not. They will not find aid in our let words. They will not find aid amongst our group.
do they actually seek the end of the Dread Legion, or was that merely something they told us?
Well, like they said, they don't seek the end.
Well,
They seek only control.
I want to play Ring Around the
Well.
Road.
I suppose my question is, yeah, do they truly want to turn the demons on each other?
I think if it leads to more power for them,
I do not know precisely what it is they are aiming to do. But I know where they were sending forces next.
Where?
An island west of the Scale Coast.
well, no, that island was already on our to-do list. So
Good to know we
Yes.
have to go there.
I'm
How
actually
convenient. That is the same island, I assume. There isn't like another island out there.
I mean, there is a group of islands out there, but
Do you know which island exactly?
he shakes his head. I know only that they were investigating rumors of ancient treasures supposedly hidden. I
well.
think they're supposed to find perhaps another artifact like the sword.
Do you know anything else about the sword? Do they have it now?
I don't believe so. I know only one other thing.
That
It has a name. I do not know how to say it. It is not in the common tongue.
Can you write it down?
I would not even know how to spell it.
Ah.
But I do know where it was written.
where?
On my son's grave.
We looked for your son's grave and we could not see it.
We never actually went looking.
Well, someone went looking for us.
The statue. Turn the hilt of the sword of the statue.
Statue?
In the mausoleum.
The one at the back. Oh, sorry. Actually, I guess I didn't see that because I can't fucking see. I can't see that from down. Just kidding.
Jayla's like, what?
Yes,
Grim
you.
saw the statue.
Those of you who saw it remember there was a statue at the back.
Yeah.
Was holding a sword.
I was semi-near it, I think.
Yes. He says, yeah. Turn the hilt of the sword of the statue. And if you are going there, would you do the old man another favour?
Of course.
End my son's suffering.
Ah.
We'll do what we can.
Thank you.
May I ask you one more question? If you don't know the answer, that is alright.
I'll try.
Do you happen to know the name of the person that they found out about us through?
I heard one name. Perhaps that is the same.
What name?
They called her Oriana.
Grande? I'm sorry.
Oriana.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
Ariana, not Ariana.
Oriana, like with an O.
Yes.
I don't think. Do we know anyone by that name?
I don't think we do.
That
Uh,
sounds vaguely familiar. Is the only thing.
Kelariis, do you want to make me an intelligence check?
Yeah, sure. My intelligence is not great, but sure. Just- Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Sometimes I remember things.
You recall a folded child's drawing, with a drawing of 2 tieflings,
Motherfucker.
one labelled Morthos and the other labelled
Yeah.
Oriana.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that tracks, huh?
What? God, I've
I
forgotten this
remembered
out of
she
character
had a
completely.
second name, but I couldn't
Yeah, I
remember
forgot
what
this
it was.
too.
The surname was Allwild, but I don't remember if you. Well, I think you found that out, but I don't remember if that was explicitly noted.
I've completely forgotten this out of character.
No, yeah, I remembered that Temerity had a Temerity wasn't the only name that she had ever gone by, but I
Yes.
couldn't remember what it was, and it's probably in my notes somewhere, but fuck, that's so many pages ago.
Yes. Oriana Allwild was her name.
Motherfucker. I think actually Kelariis does like swear in Draconic.
That's fair.
I mean, Elizabeth very much hears that because.
By Bahamut's shiny balls!
Very good one.
What a
Yeah.
curse word, jeez.
Yeah, Elizabeth would
He's
just
the
say-
Platinum Dragon.
Yeah,
Yes.
he does have very shiny. Anyway.
No, please no.
Don't.
Anyway, Elizabeth would just say, Kelariis, you okay?
Yeah. That explains the Kinslayer bit of the notes.
Does it?
Why? What?
I guess
Who is it?
Elizabeth, I don't know if Vondal ever mentioned, but Arya and Grim, you both remember Temerity, right?
Yes.
That was her name that I guess she may have gone by before, or maybe I guess still does now at times.
Yeah, Oriana is her real name. Temerity is her virtue name.
Right.
See, I've forgotten out of character who Temerity was.
She was part of the. Oh fuck! What?
The
was it
Five
called?
Talon Gang.
Yes, the Five Talon Gang, and yeah, right.
Yeah.
Fucking 5 talent bitches coming back
We knew it was them.
like a
I
bad
thought
penny.
She was still in jail. Fuck! Wait, that means that she's probably out of jail too.
Ah, god damn
God
it.
damn it!
Yeah.
Why does this keep happening?
Because
Elizabeth
Because-
repeats your curse in Draconic.
language.
Language!
Hey, you said it first.
No, I don't actually say that. It just would have been a funny bit.
We can talk about the fact that Kelariis just said language.
If you actually said language, that'd just make Elizabeth curse again.
No, I don't actually. Kelariis does not
Anyway.
give a shit if people swear.
No. Yeah, she repeats whatever your swear was when you first heard the name.
Okay.
Thank you. That unfortunately narrows things down a bit.
Yeah, as an important note, because I don't remember if people remember in character, Grim is the person who killed Morthos.
Like
Yeah,
actually
oh.
struck
The killing blow, yes.
Yeah, that does explain something.
How do you mean?
Well, I had a tiny little chat with the Supreme Witch, and she warned me that, I learned 2 things really.
Wait, when was this?
It was last night.
Last night?
How come you only bring this up now?
Well, we had a lot. I was planning on bringing it up in the morning, but we've kind of had a busy day. But regardless, we didn't really discuss much. However, what I did learn is that, well, it was a she. Whomever we're competing against, someone who's a she, which, well, now we know who it is. Also, that the tests will continue, and that we're somehow competing for favor of someone.
If
And
it's favor
that,
of anybody that they're linked to, I don't know if I want that favor, but sure.
Yeah, same.
and she kind of warned me that the tests were more so designed to kill me specifically.
What? Why?
That was what I was. That was
No, that's not what.
what-
Point
no,
of
she's-
clarification. She said that the person you were competing against wanted to kill you. She didn't say that the challenges were designed to kill you.
Oh, okay. Oh, I misunderstood.
Yeah.
I thought she also had, like, impact tests.
No.
So, and that was, well, that was the main takeaway from that conversation. And there was the like, consider like allying yourself with us and not those shenanigans. But it's well, I think our stance is fairly clear on that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Well,
It's a lot to take in.
She's back.
Jeez.
now you know my story.
Thank you for being honest, and I am genuinely sorry that all of this happened to you and to your family.
Yeah, this is horrible.
Not more sorry than I am.
I guess partially. I don't know. Well, I mean, it's not really our fault, but you know.
Well, considering, I guess we're gonna have to. Is there anything else you need us to do before we leave? Do you want us to send any help, or the guard, or? Because currently, well, kind of been locked out of the world.
Maybe we can just tell them to disperse the guard. Like, clearly, these people aren't coming back here.
I think if there demands some reparation for things that have come to pass, then, well, I will bear them. Because I think as soon as they find out what I have told you, I will not be around for much longer. And I do not think any guard will be able to protect me from that.
No, but I think the only reason why you still have a good chance is because you've actually not given us too much new information besides the names. Well, I guess the names are quite big, but in theory we could have figured those out ourselves.
Well, also knowing where they're headed next.
They may even think we already knew them. They did seem to think we knew more than we actually did.
As long as you don't go around being proud of what you shared or telling everyone what you shared, I guess you might have a chance.
I think I will get enough satisfaction from living out my last days with my wife and knowing that what I did set a righteous flame into the world that should burn those bastards for everything they did to me.
I wish you peace for the future, and may the gods watch over you.
Oh.
You and your wife, of course.
Good luck then, old strangers of the Amber Eagle.
Thank you, Lord Silverbrook.
Wrong people.
Nope.
Yeah.
Wrong people.
No.
Also
Oh,
not.
Lord.
Also not a
Lord
lord.
Silver- Yeah, whatever. Oh, Mr. Smallbrook, then, whatever.
Silver.
Thank you, Mr. Smallbrook.
Mr. Duke? Baron? Like, what is his...
He doesn't have a title.
Yeah, he's just.
He
a
is just a
merchant.
no.
He's just a dude
He
who's
is.
rich.
Yes.
Okay.
He is
Yeah.
from a rich and prestigious family. That's his only claim to fame. That and having a trading company named after him.
Well, yeah, so I'm guessing the Smallbrooks aren't specifically nobles, they're just rich.
Yes. Well,
Cool.
they are nobles because they are rich. They helped build the city because they funded half of it.
Right,
Okay, fair.
right. That
But
makes
they don't actually have a title.
But yes, that's why the 5 noble houses are so important without actually being rulers. They just paid for most of the city,
Okay, fair. But yeah. So, thank you,
including
Mr.
the
Silverbrook.
cathedral.
Mr. Smallbrook. Mr. Silverbrook again. What am I doing?
Yeah. It's okay.
Thank you, Mr. Smallbrook.
He just sits in silence holding his wife's hand.
I guess we have work to do.
Oh. I think we.
What time is it by now?
Middle of the day.
Should we go back to the tavern?
I don't feel like
We should
there's
probably
much.
tell the guards to disperse.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I guess report our findings to Ramos.
I don't know if Ramos needs Paladin Ramos needs all of the details, but we could definitely let him know that we found.
Well, we've
Stuff
concluded
that-
our
Oh.
investigation at the very least.
Or, well, perhaps all we need to do is inform them near the blockade and they will, well, pass on the word. Considering Ramos didn't want to have too much direct contact with us, I feel like that would be fair towards them.
Well, I feel like if all we say to him is, hell, I could send him a message.
That may be best.
What do you guys think I should say specifically?
Just say we've concluded our investigation.
Yeah,
And
I
then
guess tell him if he wants to know more, he can come and talk to us. Like, we're not gonna be like, fuck you,
Yeah.
go away.
Okay, fair.
And they pose no more threat to anybody.
Well,
Well,
Yeah, I won't
they're
include
out
that
of
bit.
the city, and also the
I'll just
Smallbrook
say
got fucked over.
I'll just say that our investigation is concluded. If you want more details, you can come get us. So yeah, I'll send them the message. Unless there's anything else people think I should mention.
So what's your 25-word message?
Well, I've used up 12 words so far. Does anyone have anything else?
So the message so far
Is
We've concluded our investigation. If you want details, come see us.
maybe.
It may be worth saying that the small brooks were being used as opposed to being like
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, so I guess I'll add on to it. Small brooks were merely puppets.
okay.
Wow. Yeah, close enough.
Okay.
I mean, that's literally exactly what it is.
His response is, "Thank you. I still have a few questions, but this is good to know. Call off the guard if needed."
Cool. I'll relay his response to everyone.
Well, I guess I'll just go and tell the guard what's up.
Yeah. And then shall we head to the tavern? Or wherever else? What is our next destination after that?
Well, did you want to go and find out more from the mausoleum, or?
Oh yeah, good point.
Do we want to do that in the middle of the day, or do we want to like go in the evening, or
Also a good point.
I don't see why we wouldn't do it now.
The graveyard will be open during the day.
Yeah. We wanted to break in.
I mean, we don't exactly have. Most of us do not have qualms with breaking in, to be fair. But yeah, that's.
I'm
Well,
just worried,
you
I'm just wondering how busy it will be.
It's a
Probably not that
graveyard.
Yeah, it's not like a thriving place where
I
people
don't
just hang
know.
out.
People go to visit relatives, and it's a
Yeah,
big
but it's
place.
not like. I don't know about you, but
I live
think
like
we were
5 minutes down the road from the graveyard, and I have only ever seen like 3 people in there when there's not a funeral. So
Yeah, that's fair, honestly.
You don't just walk through graveyards then?
Nope. Can't say I do. In fact, I make my darndest effort to avoid them.
Oh, fair enough. Anyway, I guess we might as well do that after we've dismissed the guard.
okay, so you walk outside. You tell the guard your thing is concluded, and that Paladin Rumor says they can leave. They're like, well, I guess we'll well, first of all, they check to confirm that you are indeed who you are, and seem to pass
Right.
their inspections, because you are all who you say you are.
We are indeed all.
And we've
who
not
say
exactly picked up anything new or whatever.
And they say, well, we've got some things to conclude here, but we'll move on once we get confirmation.
Plot twist: we're not actually who we say we are. And Rob, this is the moment where Rob tells us that.
Yes, plot twist, you're all actually evil.
Plot
Oh
twist,
my
you're
God.
now vampires.
You've all been replaced.
Your memories were altered. What actually happened was you got savaged and now you're vampires.
Shit.
Damn,
Can't believe.
big plot twist.
Everyone adjust your stats.
Big plot twist.
Well, except you wouldn't be walking around in the daytime if you were all vampires.
Yeah, that would be kind of hard.
Yeah, we'd
Anyway,
have taken a step outside and just...
take, what is it, like 8d10 radiant damage every round.
What?
I guess it turns out all we really needed for that encounter was Vondal, so he would cast Daylight.
I have daylight. It just wasn't prepared.
Ah!
Here's where we get super paranoid and just have daylight prepared for the next 3 months.
I don't know if that's how that'd work.
No. Well, I mean, it kind of.
I don't think it
might.
would hurt.
You don't know until you try.
Yeah,
Anyway.
man.
I mean, I suppose to our knowledge, it's sustained V, so maybe that works.
Yeah, but that's like questioning, does a sun lamp work against vampires?
Yeah, might.
Anyway,
Actually a
That's
good
basically
question.
what Daylight is. It's sun lamp the spell?
Right,
Wait,
that's what he's saying.
sunlight.
Yeah. Not sure if that works on vampires. It definitely works to sustain plants.
That's a
Yeah,
long way
that's
to
fair
find out.
Right, so
Anyways.
where are you going? Because we don't have much time left.
Mausoleum.
Okay.
Yeah, might as well head there.
We're gonna twist tilt the sword.
Okay. So, you go back to the mausoleum. And I can remove the...
I mean, is this place actually lit now, or is it still super dark?
It's lit!
It's lit!
I'm glad Jayla was also with me. Everyone else is just like silently judging us now.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm with you, Luka. I'm
Thank
here
In fact,
you!
Ferrous was so annoyed at you, he's muted himself.
for you.
Wow.
Oops.
Just said, fuck this noise.
Sorry, I was pressing keys on my keyboard and accidentally muted myself.
Good job.
Well
That's
done.
fair.
Right, so
Wow.
you walk up to the statue.
This red aura is very weird.
Oh yeah, I can remove that because you no longer have that.
No.
So you twist the sword, and a grinding noise comes from your right and reveals a staircase. Which
Go down the stairs.
oh, let's remove these tokens because these guys are no longer here.
Expect by considering we need to kill the brother potentially.
You enter the crypt.
I mean, oh yeah, this is not lit.
Well, it's because Grim hasn't got his torch out in this version.
Not lit.
Well, maybe I
This is
should.
a not lit place.
I mean, I'd also probably cast light on my dagger. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Uh.
I mean, I've got my cool sword back, so you know.
Freedom!
That up too.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just.
And the DM said, "Let there be
Let there
light."
be
There you go. Okay. So you descend into a room full of basically more sarcophagi, far more than you were expecting to find. And each one of them is labeled with a number of different names, some of which you recognize, some of which you don't.
Which ones do we recognize?
Mainly the 5 house names.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, well, those are the only ones that you recognize. But yes, eventually, after checking all of them, you find in the alcove at the end, basically what. Oh, that didn't do what I intended it to do.
I was gonna say, is this bit supposed to be lit up?
The whole thing is supposed to be.
Oh,
It's super.
that's as far as I can see.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I can't see anything.
Oh,
Hmm. It's fine.
There you go.
Hide.
Ah, there we go.
No.
Oh god, yeah, that is. Whoa.
No.
Yeah, that's a lot of sarcophagi.
Ferrous.
Oh, you can't. Okay.
I still can't see anything.
For
Oh,
so- I tried-
could see the entire room before.
I
And now I
tried
can't.
turning dynamic lighting off, and it didn't work for some reason.
It's just a black screen for me. Unless I'm just super missing it.
Hang on, let me just.
that would be hard to.
Okay, I've updated it to just remove it entirely. Can you see now?
No, let me let me.
Yeah.
Oh, this is an interesting glitch.
Okay.
Oh.
So when I'm the screen, there's just a box of light that follows my.
Okay, let's
movement.
try this.
Oh,
Oh, that works.
oh,
There we go.
oh, hello.
Roll 20 bugs. So yeah, you find a significant number of sarcophagi down here.
Oh, that's a lot of sarcophagi.
And some of which actually have their lids displaced, and some of them are empty.
Hmm.
Good. So.
But the sarcophagi at the end at the back, or sarcophagus at the end at the back, set into a little alcove, which, from the look of the surrounding area, may have been hidden previously, but is now no longer hidden. There is a sarcophagus with basically like carved into the lid is a likeness of a man with his arms crossed across his chest and like a pair of wings that like folded up over his shoulders. And the engraving at the bottom says in common, Gerald Smallbrook, taken too soon by cruel circumstance. This one, as you look around, the layer of dust that is evident on some of the other sarcophagi, this one has very obviously been moved and put aside and then put back. Very recently.
Does that mean there's something behind it?
Might.
I mean, is there anything on the sarcophagi hinting at the sword, which is obviously why we're here? Or in this alcove, for that matter?
It does not appear to be.
Well, can we get the strong people in here? Because I think something needs moving.
Kelariis.
Of course.
Okay, you step inside. With your 20 strength, yeah, it's a heavy stone slab, but you can shunt it aside.
But I flex real hard.
Yep. And
Let me just flex real fast.
as you do so, like you push it over onto its side, and you almost jump back as lying in the sarcophagus in like a layer of soil is a human figure who is quite literally like wrapped like neck to like pelvis in solid iron chains. His eyes are like locked open, but are like he's like watching you, and basically there's a gap in the chains over his left breast where there is a heavy wooden stake that is driven through his chest.
Good old vampires.
He is very much alive,
Awesome.
Oof.
but he is
Can't wait.
chained and paralyzed.
Yikes. Huh.
So
Well,
either
looks like
that
we're gonna have
stake
to kill him.
hasn't actually hit his heart, or we're gonna have to find another way to kill him.
I mean,
We have a magic sword, so
yeah, we have a lot of magic. at our
Vampires are very
disposal.
specific.
I mean, it's this.
I mean, the ones you fought previously weren't.
no, we killed those pretty easy.
Yeah, but they weren't like proper vampires, though, were they?
I mean,
Well, he's not a proper vampire either. He's a thrall.
Oh, I suppose. Well, then I guess the way we kill him is we just set him on fire.
Oh, that seems unnecessary.
Yeah.
Because that seems like a slow and painful.
Well, yeah. Okay, it's a good point.
Well,
I could. I
Well,
could. I could cut off
I
his
mean, I
head.
think you should
don't
just
know.
stab him through the heart with your sword, Kelariis.
Yeah, I can do that if we're. Yeah, if that's what we're gonna do.
It's going to be difficult to aim it because he's wrapped up in thick chains, and in the small space that is exposed above his heart, the stake is impaled.
And I have a feeling that taking that stake out is going to be a bad time.
Yeah.
Probably so.
would it be easier to do with a smaller blade?
Also, wouldn't quite have the same impact.
Yeah,
Yeah, I suppose.
Let me just check if I have anything I can do to make my life easier doing this.
I mean, I have a silver dagger, but I don't think that works on vampires.
No, I mean, the thing is like, I have the time to kind of not have to strike fast, so I guess if I take the time to kind of finagle a little bit of an angle.
He is paralyzed currently, so, like, if you can get the angle, your attack will be an auto crit, so you will almost guaranteed to kill him in one hit, especially with the special properties of your sword.
Yeah, because, like, I don't want him to suffer.
I mean,
like,
you could always just cut his head off.
It's
No.
kind of hard to do, he's in a stone sarcophagus.
yeah, like, that would probably be worse somehow. Yeah, I mean...
You could, like, take the chains off him to get space.
Oh, yeah, because it doesn't seem to be the chains that are holding him paralyzed, it's probably the stake that's in his... Well, I guess I don't know that, but...
You don't know that, but...
Yeah, I don't know anything. I guess just
I
to
don't
move
know shit.
some of the chains to kind of make a little bit of space that I can just kind of...
Yep. You
Yeah.
pry them apart.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, if that's enough to kind of make enough space, I guess. I'll just kind of...
Tallithsyr, who is, like, just following behind you, just sort of steps and says, wait. Shouldn't we say something first?
Good riddance to bad vampires.
I guess Elizabeth would say, Gerald, I don't know if you can even understand me right now, but
Sorry about your unfortunate name.
shut up, Luka.
Damn it, Luka!
Yeah. She's gonna say, Gerald, I'm sorry that I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying right now, but we've just spoken with your father. He's told us what happened, and we're very sorry that this has happened to you and your family, but those vampires have left now. And with any luck, your father will be able to live in peace. Though he wanted us to come here and ensure you weren't suffering.
I hope your soul finds peace.
Was that Tallithsyr?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I,
And I also say, may the gods guide you to the afterlife.
I hope that another life this does not happen again. I'm sorry. Kind of just
Okay.
like I want it to be as fast and
Yeah.
like, as much as a painless thing as I possibly can.
I mean, like, yeah, if you burn a spell slot, you will just kill him instantly with smite and
Like a first level or a second?
yeah, first level. Fine.
Can I just point out, at first I thought Tallithsyr was him, and you really freaked me out.
No.
No, that's the Tallithsyr voice.
Yes.
Yeah, come on.
I know, but it was just like a hushed whisper, and I was like, oh god. And then went, no, it's probably Tallithsyr, it's fine.
He was probably the person who said, "Should we say something before we execute him?"
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I still panicked slightly.
Yeah, with the properties of Freedom's Tongue, it just, and you just watch as like the eyes just like glass over, just,
Can I close his eyes? Because that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything about the sword?
Okay, give me an investigation check. Okay, so you run your hands along the rim, basically find nothing, and then as you're looking at the lid as it's tilted over, on the inside of the lid there is something. I don't think it's in a language you speak.
Is it in the language I speak?
It is in Abyssal.
Hey,
I was about to
Ayo.
cast comprehend languages, but that works.
I speak Abyssal.
Okay. It's a word that doesn't really translate into anything. Because it's a name, effectively. But if you had to give it common phonetics, you would spell it something like this. Druniazath.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Well, that's probably important.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I guess now we know what we
It
want
was
them to
something
not
that
find.
Lycidius wanted to get his hands on and got very upset when he didn't.
So as far as we know, he still doesn't have it. It sounds like.
As far as you're aware, yes.
Right. I mean, that's
Well,
good to know and be
Yeah,
aware of, I
because
guess.
a friend of this guy hid it somewhere. Obviously, we don't know who that friend is, therefore we don't even have the slightest clue as to where to look for it. But I suppose he doesn't either, so...
Mm-hmm.
Well, you say that they might. I guess they might be looking on the island for it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Sounds like that may have just been a more general sort of searching for artifacts, though.
Well, there's only one way to
It's
find
hard to
out.
say. Yeah.
Yes.
One way or another, we need to be there.
It was something we were interested in anyway, so... Well, in that area at least.
I mean, is there anything else we need to do here?
I
Um,
think that we should not set off till tomorrow, but...
Well, yeah. Spend the rest of the day here, just in case Ramos needs us, or anyone needs us for that matter.
well, he still wanted an explanation. So.
Unless you want to speak to your secret church friends. Looking at Kelariis.
I mean, I will... I wanted to pay a visit to them before we left anyway, but I don't necessarily think that everybody has to come with me for that.
It's up to you, man.
Well,
I mean, I will admit I'm slightly curious just to see how they resolve their little disagreement.
I think that's for them to know and not necessarily the rest of us to find out.
I suppose.
Yeah. So, as you reseal the sarcophagus and the lights disappear off up the stairs, we will call a close on our session. Wow. Good game, everybody.
Good game.
See, I kind of want to start something, but also, like, I'm aware how late it is.
It is late.
make a note for next time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have a note written for something I want to do next time. So
Yeah.
cool.
Make those notes.
Let's
Make
some
those
notes.
notes.
Make those notes.
So,
What a name session.
yes. With some villains old and new finally uncovered, and maybe a new heading? I guess we will see where things take us.
Next time on Second Age.
Indeed. All that remains is to thank you all for playing, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.